Welcome to Wisdom of the Nile. Welcome. Welcome to Wisdom of the Nile. Every Wednesday we'll be coming to you 6 till 8 on behalf of the Earth Center. You're listening to traditional choral music from West Africa. You're tuned in to Wisdom of the Nile. Ujjayi and greetings. Welcome to Wisdom of the Nile. This is the Earth Center show, and each week, 8 to 10, we're going to be sharing with you wisdom of the ancients from West Africa. Now, the Earth Center is a cultural and spiritual organization, and it was set up by a high priest from the Dogomba people of West Africa, from the country of Burkina Faso. And we'll be sharing more knowledge with you from the Earth Center, and we'll be giving you more information about the Earth Center. So every week we'll be giving you information about our culture, about the people that we know as the Dogon people from West Africa. Okay, my name is Fakara, and I'd like to welcome you to Wisdom of the Nile. The Earth Center is a non-profit organization set up by High Priest Nebnaba Lamusa Morandenebeg. Naba Lamusa was given permission from the kings of the Gulmo Kingdom to bring the initiatic knowledge into the West. Nebnaba Lamusa is a high priest from the temples of the Dogomba people. And the Dogomba people can trace their lineage back to the Nile Valley region, back to the Pharaonic times. In 1998, Nebnaba was given the permission by the kingship to set up the schools here in the West, teaching the initiatic knowledge because the temple had seen that humanity was in need of the ancestral knowledge. He set up the first school in Chicago, Illinois, and then he opened centers in Brooklyn, New York, San Diego, California, before returning to Burkina Faso in 2006 to set up a school in Ouagadougou. Neb Naba transitioned in 2008, but not before preparing his son, Naba Idita Shinmira, who continued his works and brought the initiatic knowledge here to the UK. School is set up in London, and there is also a school in Coventry. Since then, Naba has also set up a school in Montreal, and another one we're setting up in California. The Earth Center School brings the initiatic knowledge, the knowledge of the ancients. Now, many people have heard about the Dogon people, and they know of the Dogon people because of the connection of the Sirius star, and they know of their knowledge of the heavens, or what we call astrology and astronomy. But let's let Naba Lamusa himself tell you who the Dogomba are.
Tell me, what is a Dogon priest? Many people know who the Dogon tribe is, but what is a Dogon high priest?
Well, the Dogon high priest, okay, probably when you understand what being a Dogon is, it's really the fact that, some kind of tribe since the times of the pharaohs have, dedicated themselves into preserving the culture. So really being a Dogon is really, it's a huge community of different small groups with specific qualities. So being a priest is simply, rising in the, through the initiations and all this. That's really what it is.
What is being a Dogon then?
Dogon, really, the word Dogon comes from the word dog, which really mean land. Or country or whatever. So originally, a Dogon would have meant like a landlord. So in the ancient time or the times of the pharaohs, being a Dogon would mean like, being a descendant of the line of the priest, those who preserve the spiritual activities, the ceremonies, everything that had to do with the link between humans and the world of the gods. Yeah.
Our teaching is that the Dogons are primarily in Mali, but you're from Burkina Faso, so therefore that means that does not apply. So Is that an indication that the Dogons are not only in Mali and Burkina Faso, but in other countries too in Africa?
Yeah. Probably mostly the intellectual field, even of people in the diaspora. Really, we say we're trying to study Africa, but we really are studying it through the eyes of the colonizer. So whatever he points at, that's what we see. If not, the truth is, even up to in Ghana, there is the northern part of Ghana, there are people called the Dagwamba. Dagwamba, that's a Dogon people. You see. So we have Dogons in Ghana, Dogons in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, in Benin. It's a huge community. So we have a different kind of people that are part of the same roots. Yeah. One thing you have to understand that between there are a lot of lands or countries inside Africa that has never been colonized, even in West Africa. And the good example will be like between Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, there is a territory there that is called the Liptako. The Liptako Guruma is a land that has never, the colonizer have never visited. So later on, when they find out that they've missed some areas, then they allowed the colonized, they advised the colonized like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to get together and administer that territories for them.
At the time when the Europeans, the Greeks at the time, came into the Nile Valley River region, the Dogomba were the people who were known as the landlords, as we heard from Nebnaba. And because the pharaohs had the foresight to know that in this cycle of time, there is a time for each kingdom to rule, and that the time for the Greeks to come in and for their time to be established was coming in, they gave the Dagomba people the permission to take the knowledge across the Sahara into what we now know as West Africa. Now, these were a migration of people. This wasn't just simply, a few people leaving at one time. This is a migration of people that happened over years, that happened over periods of time. So the migration took place in waves, stopping in the Sudan, then moving across the Sahara into regions that we now call Africa, West Africa, Ghana, Togo, Burkina Faso, Benin. And before the Europeans colonized those areas and gave them these names, the tribes lived across that whole region that was there. Now, they were practicing the traditions. They were practicing the initiation. They were practicing the initiation and practicing that now in secret. So they took that knowledge into the bush. And it's that knowledge that Nebnaba has been given the permission, or had been given the permission, to bring forward into the West, so that those of us who are desirous to reconnect to our ancestral knowledge have the opportunity to reconnect through the initiatic ways, which is the ways of our ancestors. And when we're talking about initiation, when we're talking about the traditions, it all has to do with spirituality. And that was what the Greeks came in and saw our people practicing. They saw our people practicing spirituality because the world of the gods, or the neter, was the perfect model. And our people understood that when we were looking for an example, it had to be from the worlds of the gods. And so spirituality was our highest aim. And we're gonna, today many people talk about spirituality. We have, all kinds of what they call spirit. We have religion, and for another show, we will talk about what we understand religion to be. But many people nowadays talk about spirituality, and we have, New Age spirituality, etc., etc. But let's listen to the high priest himself, Neb Naba Lemusa Morondenebeg, high priest from the Dogomba temples in West Africa, telling us about spirituality.
Mostly people of, that have been under European influence like this, they seem to confuse spirituality with philosophy. Philosophy, anybody can sit and get drunk and fantasize about whatever they want to fantasize. Well, when it comes to human spirituality, nobody can just wake up and get spiritual. In my place, that's what we call crazy people. You
can't wake up and just get spiritual?
It doesn't work like this. It's like saying somebody wake up and become PhD in chemistry in America. How is that possible?
How does one become spiritual?
One thing we have to understand. Take, for example, a society here. In America, even to become a street cleaner, you need a training for it. And that's just cleaning the street. Every job that you have, you have to, train for it. And now something as important as a human spirit and as a human life, we seem to, that's really where the religions have let us down, because they're trying to make it an emotional issue. So there's that kind of rebellion that we have. We really feel weak when we feel like something that close to us, we have to go learn it from somebody else. Well, the truth is that is how it works. Even without initiation, without environment, training and like this, even a person can grow up without even knowing their gender. And that is despite the fact that they could see which kind of sex they have between their legs. So we're giving too much, we're holding too much on we call it projection of our own imaginations on ourselves. You see, take this. Few centuries ago, or with Christianity, the prophets that the Christianity has been presented, most of them said they were hearing voices, and and they think God is talking to them. Go to the street now and say you're hearing voices, and find out where you will end.
You may be listening to someone on a cell phone.
No. What I'm saying that
no, I understand.
They will send you to the crazy house.
Right, I understand.
The others can hear voices, and that's God's voice.
Right.
But then you say God talks to you.
Right.
And then you end in crazy house.
It's called the Bellevue Hospital here. Yeah.
So there is all this hypocrisy that the colonial society is imposing on people. Because by saying, okay, spirituality needs to be learned, then you will have to find out where to learn it. And the truth is, the more you ask yourself this question, it will take you back home. then people like me.
You mean back home to Africa?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then people like me becomes your point of reference.
Neb Nabal Musa Modern Denibeg, speaking about spirituality. Now, the Earth Center has 3 branches to it. We have Ancaster Healing, and we will talk a bit more about Ancaster Healing. We actually have an event happening in our school this Friday. Ancaster will be putting on an event this Friday at our school, and we will have our Ancaster branch manager, Zeta Nefer, in our international section, telling us a bit more about Ancaster and about the drive that's happening around the traditional herbs that we have under Ancaster. So Ancaster is the healing, deals with the healing side of the initiation. Under Ancaster, we have traditional herbs, we have readings, spiritual readings, but like I said, we'll speak a bit more about that under the international section when we speak to Zeta Nefer. We also have another branch of the Earth Center, and that's the Firefly. And under the Firefly, the section of the Firefly, we have several publications. One is called the Philosophy Podium, and the Philosophy Podium was written by Neb Naba. And if you want to get information about the Earth Center, about the traditional knowledge, and not even necessarily the Earth Center, about the traditional knowledge and what the knowledge that our people truly have. If you want to learn about the Dogomba people, the Dogon, not from a Eurocentric perspective, not from books written by Europeans, but by that which was written by a Dogon priest themselves. If you want to know more about the teachings and the worldview of the Dogon people, then the Philosophy Podium is a good place to start. We also have a publication called The Firefly. And we have several volumes under the Firefly. And again, we understand that if you are going to tell your story, you have to tell it yourself. Somebody can't do that for you. And so the Firefly magazine, in there it covers many aspects of the tradition. So again, if you want to know more about the traditional knowledge of our ancestors, the Firefly is another good place to start, and it covers many aspects. We'll have a reading from the Firefly later on in the program. It covers many aspects of the tradition. We also have a book called the Hedge Ptah, and the Hedge Ptah has initiatic tales, stories that the children would have been told in the initiatic camps. Because you see, when the child gets to about 7 years old, in the tradition they understand that the child now needs to go and be taught the ways of life, be taught the knowledge that they will need to become a man or a woman. And so at the age of 7, the child goes into the initiatic camps. And the Hedge Ptah Initiatic Tales is a book that gives stories, but these stories have deep meanings to them. And there is so much that you learn from this tale. In fact, it's one of my favorite ones. Ones that, you know, you get some really deep meaning stories from the Initiatic Tales. So if you do like stories, that's an excellent book to really get, and stories that have deep meaning, the Initiatic Tales. And then we have one called the Sunny Side magazine. And again, it's a magazine that gives information on the culture. Now, I'm sharing about Firefly production, and we have another area called the But before we go to that, I just want to give you the details for if you did want to get in contact with the school. We will be having, like I said earlier, under Ancaster, we will be having a healing day where we have certain cleansing herbs that there's a certain promotion happening down at the school. And that will be on Friday. So the address for the school that we have here in London is 21 Sunnyside Road, London, Leighton, E10 7BB. That is also where you can purchase some of these books that I've just spoken about, the Podium, the Initiatic Tales, the Firefly, the Rising Firefly. You can also get CDs and DVDs of Nebnaba, going deeper into different areas within the tradition. And so the other area, one of the other arms of the Earth Center, is the And the under the is where the initiation is where those who are desirous to learn more about the traditional cultures of West Africa, specifically from the Dogomba people, this is where those of you who want to know more about the initiation, you come under the branch that we call Now, under we have 3 areas or 3 lessons that are taught under the section of the Earth Center. We have Sunt, which is the healing, which teaches us about traditional healing, understanding the body, and how we can use nature to heal. And this is where Ancaster herbs goes hand in hand with that. So you learn about the traditional herbs that are being used, that have been used for centuries for our people. And then we have Medu. In the Medu classes, we learn what is now popularly known as hieroglyphs. And in that class, we learn how to speak and write in what we call Medu, which they would call hieroglyphs. This is the cornerstone of the initiation. Being able to read and write Medu and speak Medu. As they say, it opens other centers in the brain which otherwise are not used. They say we use 10% of the human brain. The Medu, which is known as the language of the gods, and which we know uses frequencies. When you're speaking Medu, you're using hekauls, words with power. And when you use Medu, you're speaking with clarity, because in the ancient times there is not what we call contemporary agreement. There isn't this contemporary agreement where, you know, good can mean bad or good can mean wicked. What is. And so the second class that you do is Medu, a class called Medu. And then the third one is a class called Ka'atibi. And in Ka'atibi, we learn the spiritual side. We learn, aspects of it may be equated to what you call meditation, yoga, but it's also the spiritual side where we learn our spiritual prayers, where we learn about the cosmology, the cosmogony of Kemet, and lots more on the spiritual side. So those are the 3 arms of the initiation. So I myself am an initiate, and in this part of the show, which is called the initiates space, we will be sharing stories. Initiates will be speaking about their journeys, their thoughts as they have traveled the road of initiation. So this is where the part of the show where initiates get to share some of their journey. So I myself am an initiate, but we have several initiates in the station. But the initiate that we're going to share with at the moment is Claudette. So Claudette, welcome to Wisdom of the Nile.
Ujjayi.
Go on again, Claudette.
Ujjayi.
Okay, go on again. One more time, Claudette.
Ujjayi.
Hey, Ujjayi, Claudette. Ujjayi.
Ujjayi.
So we want to really acknowledge our ancestors and for allowing us to have the opportunity for being in the initiation and for even allowing us to have this radio show. We want to bless FM for giving the Earth Center a platform on which to share the traditional knowledge. So Claudette, like myself, you have been on this journey through initiation. And for those listeners who are out there and would like to know a bit more about the Earth Center from an initiate's point of view, we've heard from Nabalu Musa Morondenibeg, but now for the initiates who have taken that step to walk the road of initiation, would you share some of your journey with us?
I started my journey in August 2017 with the Earth Center. I was drawn to the Earth Center by another friend of mine who actually had listened to a radio show and got the details. And I came to orientation and I listened to what other initiates were saying, and I said, this really sounds interesting. I was brought up as Christian, and I didn't really connect with Christianity. And later on in my life, I got married and I went into the Muslim religion. And again, that didn't agree with me. But I persevered on, and I was still searching for what is the truth. And when I came upon the Earth Center, it really resonated with me. And I thought, this must be it. This must be the truth that I've been searching for. And I've been on that journey since. So the knowledge is absolutely amazing. And you start to, before I even say that, you're on a journey of disconnecting yourself from the matrix, I would say, the system, what constantly controls us all. And when you start to break away from it, then your eyes are suddenly opened. And with the Earth Center, you are really opening to what is the truth. And you start to realize how deeply we've been programmed by the European to really disconnect from our truth. And I literally had to start to remove all those layers, all the lies that have been built up within the system that we are living in today. And it is a really difficult journey. It's very challenging. But once you're on that awakening, you start to realize that you have to go through it. You have to go through it to find yourself. And it is about finding yourself. So I started this journey, and I'm still on the journey. And the knowledge you will gain from the Earth Center is absolutely amazing. And you start to realize, my gosh, this is so deep that this has been hidden from us.
When you say deep, can you, so what has really, what in the lessons have really struck you? I know from my journey how it has been for me, but what is it that has really hit home to you?
what's really hit home for me was how programmed we are, how full we are of the delusion of being controlled. And then once you start to realize that, I literally start to break down, because I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is so much of the knowledge is so deep. You start to realize, oh my gosh, I've been lied to all these years. And that's what it is, it's the lies.
Yeah, I hear that, because it's the same. It opens up. It opens up so much. So I mean, and when you realize that this knowledge is coming from our people that they call, these are the bush people, people that they said, you know, like, who are these people? These are primitive people, but the knowledge that they bring, I mean, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. And connecting back with our ancestors and what they went through, and you're part of it. And I would say, yes, my ancestors have called me on this journey, because they just don't want you to struggle anymore. They don't want you to be under this illusion that what the Europeans have put on us for all these years is actually a lie. So you start to realize what the truth is, and you know, you become more awakened, and you want more, because you want to know the truth. And this is what you will get when you join as an initiate with the Earth Center, the truth.
Yes, my sister Claude. You know, I concur with you, and we have some other initiates in the radio station with us today, and let's hear from our brother. In fact, our brother. So Claudette, just so that those who are listening are aware of how initiation works. You actually haven't graduated yet, have you? So you're an initiate. You're still going through
I'm still
initiation.
going through initiation. As I said, the journey is a challenging one, and you know, I took exams last year, but I didn't pass. But then I wasn't ready, and I'm still on the journey, because, you know, in life you have to make decisions, and it is a really uphill journey, but it's worth it, and there's no turning back.
And you know, when you said, you know, you took the exam, that really this is a spiritual road, and it's not like, you know, when we go to school, is it, or
No.
university? It's like this is a different thing. So when you're tested like
You're tested on all the levels.
all levels that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
tested on
All levels
all
that
levels.
I didn't have. And, you know, your spirituality, it's so deep that you think, oh, it's hard to say, but
You have to live it, isn't it?
you
It's
have to
one
live
of the,
it. It's one of the things you have to live
You have
it.
to go through it. And, you
Yeah.
know, when at the beginning they say, okay, you know, it's going to be challenging, you don't realize
you don't realize until you're in it what the challenges
challenges.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the reality is the challenge is yourself.
It is.
You are facing yourself. It isn't anyone else.
It's no one
you.
else. It's you. It's you, yourself. You are waking up yourself. And
Right.
that is the challenge. We're no longer, you know, someone's leading you. You're leading yourself. You're founding yourself.
And
that is such a challenge, because we're just so programmed to just follow. But when you are now looking into yourself, the challenges start to come.
That's right. And there's a part in the initiation where they say that, you know, they're breaking the monuments. And it's amazing how much things that it's been built up around you that somebody else put in your mind that you don't even realize has been put there, and still until the initiation starts breaking it down.
Yes.
Thank you, my sister, my fellow initiate.
You're welcome.
Claude, so you're still going through, but we have our fellow initiate, Nekipsa, who has just graduated, and welcome to the initiatic space, or the initiatic space. This is where the initiates get a chance to share their perspective, their journey. So my brother Nekipsa, first of all, if you share what your name Nekipsa means, because our sister Claudette, she hasn't been given her earth name. So when you graduate from initiation, you're given an earth name. So my name is Katasta Fakara, which means the meditation of Aishat, the goddess Aishat, who they call Isis. Our brother Nekipsa recently graduated, a wonderful ceremony that we had. And so, Nekipsa, will you share with us your journey?
Ujai Wanano. Yeah, my name is Nahipsa, and basically my name means strong heart of a guardian. And I don't know, it's like when I was given that name, I was kind of, well, I wasn't sure if that was me. So basically, I was asking the people around who know me, really, has to say, well, does that kind of reflect who I am? And according to them, they can see that name given to me that is befitting of me. So understanding how the name is given to us really is done by 3 priests which do divination. And they read the hearth, and basically the name derived from their finding of who I was in my previous existence. So obviously I've come back really to try to fulfill something really, right, that I didn't quite fulfill in my previous journey. And yeah, basically my curiosity to come to the EC it's very similar to my fellow initiate, Claudette. Really, we started together on our journey. And yeah, I was coming from a Christian background myself, where we started off, most of us started off in the church. For me, I had experiences there which really didn't resonate with me. I see how the church basically was just there helping themselves basically to use us, to send us in a direction really, right, that was basically an institution kind of made up from the Europeans really. And we're here continuing what they're perpetuating on us really, in the ignorance of believing that it's taking us somewhere. And you know, as I said, I started off in the church. I saw that that wasn't the place for me. Then I went further on to Rastafarism. So like in that journey there, that was, you know, coming back from the 70s, being a young black male coming from, well, my journey started from in Jamaica basically, and coming here, we were just bombarded by European knowledge, nothing of our black culture we didn't see out there. Most of us have gone through our journey here as from a child. I came here when I was 7, so there wasn't really much going on for us really as black people. So when the reggae music influence came in and we started to learn about our culture, I was inspired really, right, by that. Well, it was to connect back to who we were, like as black people, say going back to Africa. So I've always had this curiosity to find out, really, say, who I was, who I am. I know that I didn't come here just to live and die. Like most of us, we're just going through our time, just existing, basically, thinking that we're living. And there was a lot of questions that was, for me, was unanswered. I remember having a friend of mine, he had cancer, and I watched him die, basically, and that curiosity of knowing, of not knowing, who is it that decides whether, when we take that last breath. On my journey, like through Rastafarism and the other things that I've been involved in, I never kind of found the answer to certain questions that I was looking for. And coming to the EC, it's like, a lot of those unanswered questions, I start seeing and finding the answers to those questions. And for me, it was like seeing the cake, the whole cake in one place, as opposed to the little pieces that's been, people have come and, you know, they've taken their chunk, they've gone away, and they've plagiarized it basically and sell it back to us as religion. And so to see everything in one place, that resonated with me, you know. Yeah, seeing the whole cake. And yeah.
Yes, Nekipsa, Duao, Duao. Yeah, it's the initiatic space, you know. You're sharing your journey, as we all have been on that journey, you know. So, like we said, you just graduated, and for those who are interested, at the other end of Per Ankh, there is also the opportunity to go into what we call Inushifi, right?
Yeah, you know, for our per rank stage, there's certain questions that we ask, and we're told in a shifi. And that's kind of like what they would say, that's the deeper part really to our development, our becoming really, like in kind of say, learning more about the way things really is, as opposed to the way that we've been taught, with the way that the society, Western society basically kind of has imposed on us. So, you know, our journey doesn't end at per rank stage, really. That was just like the beginning.
Preparing us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think we have another initiate on the phone line. Let's see if we can bring her up. And we really want to acknowledge this initiate, because when you graduated, this person also graduated. So Himata. So let's see if we can get Himata on the phone line. Mama Himata, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hey.
Ujjayi.
Hey, Ujjayi, Mama.
Ujjayi, Mama. Ujjayi.
Oh, it's wonderful to hear you, Mama. You know, recently, and I know Claudette was talking about orientation. So for those of you who don't know what orientation is, and we've just had orientation, is where the Earth Center opens the doors onto the branch of Umtam, opens the doors for any new initiates who want to come in. And that happens once, possibly twice a year. And then the doors are closed, and those initiates go through initiation. So the doors don't, or once the doors are closed, you know, initiates have to wait until the next time. And at orientation, Mama Himata, which is her earth name, and I'll allow Himata to share with you her name. Himata spoke her story, and the whole room stood up to Mama Himata. You know, the whole room stood up, and that's just in honor of this initiate. So Mama Himata, Ujjayi, and welcome to Wisdom of the Nile, the show, the platform on which, well, the platform is Bless FM, that occasioned the Earth Center to be able to open our doors and be able to share with the people of London and the world, really, because I know they're online as well. Himata, could you share with us your story?
Well, first of all, I would like to say Ujjayi to the blessed listeners. This means greetings. My journey is a very long journey. I started from a child, and I was in the church, and that takes me 75 plus years. Very unhappy, coming on to my late years, and begin to ask questions because I want to know the truth. And first of all, that truth led me, which is 2012, do not go no longer to church. And my son He is the one that really prompted me, because he kept saying, all these years, Mom, you're there talking to Jesus. Have you got any answer? I see you not looking well at all. I says, well, he said, ask and tell me when you're here. Well, I didn't hear anything. So in so doing, as I said, I stopped going to church, but I did not leave the Creator. I stayed home and I pray. And I read the Bible, and in so doing, it takes me into the community, the Black community. I was saying to myself, I know the culture of the Europeans. I want to know the culture of my African. And so when the door was opened by Catasta that came, and the radio that I was on said with Boots Doctor. And she spoke about the Hampton school. And you know, I wanted to learn the language, the Midu. But before I go any further, you know, one of the things I would like to say, this meditation is very good, because my son, he teaches me how to meditate, and in so doing, it causes my spirit to find that which I was looking for, and I end up in the Hampton. And believe you me, it's very, very good, because it opens your mind and it allows you to see where you're going. Even at this age, I do my best. It is not easy. It is like, I don't know if you know, a salmon going up the hill, going back to the river from the sea to where it was spawned. So it's going uphill. Well, this is where I have been, going uphill. Uphill is very, very hard, but I'm telling you, it really opens your mind and allows you to see where you are. It allows you to realize that what you've been told, it is not true. You see the things begin to fall from your eyes, and you begin to see clearly. You are learning the Medu, and it is telling you the different ways of how your speeches are. It shows you how you can how would I say, spread your wings, spread your mind, and to know exactly where you are. I would like to say to those of you who are listening, it is not too late, don't care how old you are. It's not too late to move from where you are. Don't sit down and moan, because I'm telling you, when the time comes for you to leave this world, you're going to find that what you was learning, it isn't true. What it teaches you, what you learn from the European, it is not true. Your ancestors are within you, and it's through the ancestors that causes me to move forward from where I was. Now, in the church, I couldn't talk about ancestors, because you're not supposed to talk about that. But coming here, I see and realize that the ancestors is the one that really causes you to move forward.
You went a little bit quiet there, Ma, so if you could just repeat that last sentence.
The last sentence I was saying, that it's your ancestors.
Sorry, Ma, I'm not sure what's happening. The line has gone a bit fuzzy, so I'm not sure if it's maybe where you are in the house, if it's the reception is not good. But it was lovely and clear before now. Do you want to speak again?
I'm saying that the ancestors that is within one is the thing that it teaches you to go forward.
Okay, we're not hearing you so clear, Ma.
Sorry?
We're not hearing you so clearly.
You're not hearing clearly.
No, not at the moment. Let me just see if there's anything at this end.
Because it's very high. The turn to very high.
Okay, we're not hearing you so well. Maybe could you try somewhere else in your room, where you are? Like if you stand up in another spot where you are.
Can you hear me now?
It's very fuzzy. The phone is very fuzzy.
I can't hear.
Just give us one moment. Maybe we can see if we can adjust something. All right, Ma?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, maybe if you... Yeah. Okay, Ma, if you... Hold on. Let's try again. Ma?
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, we got you again. Nice and clear. Okay, good to go. Yes,
Yes.
continue, Ma.
Yes, as I was saying that you while you're in the church, you can't speak about your ancestors. They tell you that it's a devil, and all these have been true. But removing from there, I get to find out the ancestors is the one that is within you, that guides you and show you and tell you what you could do, and if you listen and follow, you will be okay. And so this is the way where I end up in the Empton school with the initiation.
Wow. Wow. How many years? 70...
75 years plus.
Hold on.
I think I was 76.
Hold on. Did you hear that, listeners? 70.
I was 76. And now I'm 80.
Wow.
81.
Wow. This is why Himata got a standing ovation when her story was told, You're an inspiration. You are, in fact, Naba Irita said at your graduation that you are the eldest initiate the Earth Center has ever had. So you come and you set record. You set record. And we all are inspired by you. If we even want to think about slowing down or just remember you and we just keep going again. So it really is it really is an inspiration.
And anyone can do it. I believe if you have a desire to move from where you are, if you check yourself and see over the years, you have, you're in the church and you get discomfort, because that was myself. I get so discomfort, and I ask the question, what's going on? I want to know truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the word came to me, work out your own salvation. So that's why I removed from where I was. And I don't go back in, because when they're telling you this and telling you that, and if whatever you're doing, you're not right, you are worshiping devils and all these kind of things.
Which is just simply our ancestors.
Yes,
this is what somebody else wants to give our definition of our ancestors.
Yes.
So I thought you was going to say something there.
Yes, I was just going to say that sometimes you have your children and the ancestors speaking through them, helping to pull you forward. But because you feel as if they are young, you don't want to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go where you should go.
Mm-hmm.
But I am so glad that I hear and listen to this young man. Many times he would go and walk, old trees, held onto the trees, you know. And his sister and his brother was, it looked as if he's going funny, but he wasn't. This is the way how
he was connecting.
Was pulling him out, and in so pulling it, he pulls me. That's why I'm where I am with the Earth Center.
And I remember Naba was giving us a lesson, and he said that your children are actually older than you, because you carry the blood of your ancestors, and your child carries the blood of your ancestors plus you. So everything that they were plus you is what they are. That's why they become to get greater than us, you know. So it is a blessing. It's a blessing.
It is a great blessing for me, because all my intention and desire is to know my culture, get my culture. You know, I have no desire to go that side anymore.
Duao.
No desire.
Duao.
No desire. I felt those years are lost because I didn't know. So I felt within myself those years are lost. You know? But I'm glad I reached the point where I should be. You know?
Wow. Story. And I hope we get to hear more of your story, because this is a platform that we will be on every week, 6 till 8 p.m. We will have initiates presenting on behalf of the Earth Center.
8 till 10.
You're correct.
10.
You know, I've done that already this evening. I've said 6 till 8. Thank you.
8
See,
till
there you
10.
go again. You're leading the way. Thank you, Mama. 8 till 10. 8 till 10. We will be on every Wednesday, the Earth Center, giving knowledge, sharing the journey in the initiatic space, and really just, you know, giving thanks to our ancestors for, you know, making sure.
A lot of thanks.
A lot of thanks.
A lot of thanks. A lot of thanks.
Mama Himata, duau for sharing some of your story with us. I'm sure you have so much more, and I'm sure the listeners are going to be wanting to tune in again to listen to you. All right, so duau for sharing this part of the story, but we look forward to hearing you again in the Wisdom of the Nile show, and duau.
Duau.
listening to Wisdom of the Nile, the Earth Center show. We just finished the initiatic space, and you're just hearing some traditional choral music before we enter into the next section. So we are now moving in to the next section of our show. And this is the international section. Now, we shared earlier that we have a branch of the Earth Center called Ancaster. And Ancaster is the section of the Earth Center that deals with healing. And on Friday we have an event that's coming up at the school. We have a school at 21 Sunnyside Road, and we have an event, and one of our initiates will be sharing the details of the event with us. So our sister Tunishe, could you share with the listeners what's happening on Friday? There you go.
Okay, Jai listeners. Let's see if I open this. On Friday, between 8. Okay. Friday between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. there will be a natural healing at 21 Sunnyside Road, Leighton. It's London E10 7BB, and it's actually a free event. If you need further information, you can contact 0207 175 4144.
And you know, the event that's going to take place, actually we have some more information on that, so let's just share a little bit more. Tunmishe?
Okay, Ancaster means life, and it's the spirit of Aishat. And Aishat is the goddess of love. And she's the wife of Wazir and mother of Heru. Aisha is seen as the greatest example of a loving and faithful wife and mother. Her love for her husband was so strong that she used her magical powers to resurrect Wazir after he died. Aisha is our role model for motherhood, love, family, and devotion. The Nazca, sorry, my throat is a bit dry. Ancaster Natural Healing provides herbs for exceptional quality. We are dedicated to preserving the environment and local eco terms. The herbs are grown in indigenous agricultural traditions of Africa without the use of chemical pesticides and are rotated regularly to preserve soil integrity. Many of the herbs are rare and harvested in the deep bush of the sub-Saharan region of Western Africa. Those who harvest and prepare the herbal remedies are respected indigenous people who are compensated fairly for their contributions. You're welcome to join the Earth Centre UK on our free event, as I said previously, where you'll have the opportunity to take advantage of Pacific herbs, and teas will be at a discounted sales price. And there will also be cleansing sets for male and females. So it's a good opportunity to take advantage of this once in this event. Refreshments will be available as well, and donations are always welcome.
Okay, dua Tumishe. You know, as initiates, we're here. We're as a community, so we work together. So we say duao, duao. Okay, so we're now in the international section, and hopefully, if they can hear us, we should have our Senti, who is in Houston, Zeta Nete, and she is the Ancaster branch manager. Zetanete, are you there? Zetanete?
Yes, yes, I'm here.
Hey, Ujayi.
Hey,
Welcome to
thank
Wisdom
you.
of the Nile show. We are in the international section, and we've just shared some information about what's happening here in the UK. So just so we say, you are currently in Houston.
Yes, I'm currently in Houston. I'm originally from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I took my initiation within the Earth Center through the Chicago school.
Uh-huh. Hey, wow. So you are the Ancaster branch manager. We've been sharing a bit about the EC and also the different strands, the committees that are in the EC. And we are so thankful to Bless Radio for giving us this platform to share nationally and internationally the wonderful work that the Earth Center has been doing. So I'm going to ask you, Zetanefe, could you tell us a bit more about Ancaster and about this drive that's happening with Ancaster?
Yes, I can. So, Ancosta is a branch of within the Earth Center that deals with the health and spiritual needs of those who come to us. And so, Ancosta is composed of a network of healers throughout Western Medita who plant herbs for us.
Just so they know that Merita is Africa. Some of our listeners
Medita, Western Medita is West Africa. Yes. So we work with a network of healers who we connect with to get our herbal remedies from, which is what we use to assist those who come to us with health issues. So we have herbs that deal with so many different illnesses, from issues such as high blood pressure or low blood pressure, fibroids, diabetes, anything you can possibly think of. We even provide herbs for children's immunity to help strengthen the immunity of children and babies. We also provide medicines that deal with things that perhaps are not physical as well.
Spiritual, right?
Yes, spiritual.
Wow.
So in addition to providing herbs for those who come to us with health issues, we also provide health consultations where we have people or students who have come through the Earth Center who have taken the SUNT class, which is the healing class. And they provide health consultations to initiates as well as clients, where they do a non-invasive method. They use a non-invasive method that has been preserved in the traditions, the healing traditions of Medita. And they're able to, through this non-invasive method, they're able to pinpoint certain issues in the body and then apply the herbs to help assist in bringing the body back into balance.
Okay.
And we also provide in Ancosta, in addition to the herbs and health consultations, we also offer spiritual readings. And spiritual readings, the spiritual readings that we provide uses methods that are very, very old, referred to as end-time science, where the energies of the earth are used. The earth energy readings are used to see into a person's life and address any possible spiritual issues that a person may have. It's an invaluable tool. Even the earth energy readings is the oldest methodology known to humanity. And you can see uh, remnants of this methodology used in other cultures. A lot of people liken the end time sciences to like psychic readings or anything, things of that nature. But end time science is much, 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 much deeper than like a psychic reading or something of that sort.
Hmm. Wow, wow, yes, wow. It was good sitting back and listening to everything that's provided because it really is a wonderful, and I'm going to use the word service because I can't find a better word in English. Um,
Yeah, I know you asked me to
the
mention
drive,
the
yes.
herbs the herb. What did you refer to it as?
Well, yeah, in the UK, so it's a drive. You're actually launching Ancaster Herbs. There's a relaunch. If you could just let us know a bit more about what that's about.
Yeah, so Ancosta is currently working on. We've moved our herb headquarters from our Chicago school down to our Houston school, which is a huge change and a huge shift for the organization. And with that shift has come some new things. We've changed the packaging. We've changed kind of the overall look of the herbs and how the herbs are stored so that we can preserve them for much longer because, it's hard work to plant and harvest the medicines that we get out of Africa. And we want to make sure that we're doing our best to continue to support our healers in West Africa by taking what they provide for us seriously, taking it and taking care of it and getting it out to the people. And so one way we're doing that is by, working towards preserving our herbs in a way that maintains its potency. And then we're also focusing on really getting our herbs out there. So, because we all know if we just look at our own family, many of our family members are sick and dealing with different type of ailments in the body. And modern medicine has been unable to address a lot of these issues effectively. And so we want to be able to get the herbs out there. So, make people aware that Ancosta exists and get the herbs out there with the hopes that the herbs are able to help people restore balance in the body. And so we're doing a herb um, sale on herbs that deal with cleansing the systems of the body. So the blood, the kidneys, the liver, the reproductive systems of both male and female, as well as the brain. Um, and cleansing the systems are just basic body maintenance. That even if you don't have any type of illness, it's necessary for the body because it creates an environment in the body where illness can't take root if you're maintaining and cleansing the systems. So we'll be having a relaunch in the UK where the herbs will be showcased and people can come out and hear more about them. And then this sale is a worldwide sale. So all of our schools will be holding events and going out and vending so that people can purchase the herbs and receive some information on what Ancosta is and what we do and how we can service the people.
Wow, wow. That's right, because we're holding ours here, as we said before, at 21 Sunnyside Road, London, Leighton, E10 7BB. And that's going to be between 12 and 8, as Senti Tumishe told us, between 12 and 8 this Friday. So anyone who wants to come and know a bit more about the herbs, or who wants to come and purchase some of these cleansing herbs, I think we have packages for male and female. Is that right, Zetenefer?
Yes, we do. So the packages that we have for the female is a reproductive cleanser, along with the blood cleanser, and then the liver and kidneys. And then for the male, there is a herb that we refer to as can, and it cleanses. This particular one that we have targets the cleansing of the male reproductive system, and it is capable of addressing it's capable of addressing a number of different issues that may show themselves as a result of not having cleansed the system before. So again, cleansing is just basic maintenance of the body. You don't necessarily have to be dealing with any particular issue in order to use the herbs, because we just want to make sure that we're cleansing all of our body systems. We want to make sure that we're cleansing the brain, the blood, our major organs, and as well as the reproductive systems.
Mm-hmm. And really, to be able to get these potent herbs from the motherland, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that if you're talking about, using herbs to cleanse the system.
Yeah, you're right. And it really doesn't get any better than that. Not because it's just from the motherland, but also because it's coming out of traditions that have been preserved for millennia. The knowledge has been preserved and passed down from mother to daughter, father to son, for many, 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 many years. It's old knowledge. It's not them trying to make something up or create something or pander to the people. It's really them doing us a favor by saying, hey, you guys over there, you're dealing with this. Here, back where we're from, this is what we have to deal with this. Let us help you by sharing what we have.
Wow.
So where we can consider ourselves really lucky to have access to the network of healers that the Earth Center works with, as well as the herbs and the herbal compounds that they are sharing with us.
Wow. Duau Hatini. Duau for sharing that information with us and bringing us up to speed, really, in what's happening with the Earth Center internationally. Yes. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us before we have to take our leave from you?
I can't think of anything Costa currently, for those who out there who are dealing with serious health issues, the Earth Center has, we've built a healing center in Togo, near the city Sokode, and it has dormitories where those who are dealing with pretty severe health issues can come and stay and receive around-the-clock care from one of our healers as they work to help restore good health. So if anybody out there is in need of this type of assistance or support, you can reach out to the UK school. Katasta, please make sure to share the you guys' contact information. And if you're in the States, in the United States of America by chance, and you're listening to this conversation, you can call the Earth Center headquarters in the United States. We're located in Chicago. You can reach us at 773-359-4160. Again, that number is 773-359-4160. You can also send an email to myself at ankastanh@gmail.com. And that is spelled ANKHKASTANH@gmail.com.
Wow, that's the part that we needed, and that is so important, that healing village that is there in Togo. Duao for that, Hatini. Zetenefer, and we look forward to connecting with yourselves and other Earth Center schools internationally as we use this platform to get the knowledge that our ancestors have saved for us. And as you say, we are the ones that are benefiting. They have this knowledge, and it's for us to benefit from. So I want to thank you again for sharing with us, and we look forward to speaking with you at some time in the future.
Likewise, and thank you for inviting me, Katasta.
You're welcome. And say hi to Hatini Jedka, who I know is there, who is running the Houston School at the moment. We will be using this platform to liaise and speak more with her in terms of what's happening down there in Houston. So we look forward to that in the near future too.
Yes, absolutely. She's looking forward to connecting with you too, Katasta.
Wow. So this is actually the Earth Center, the Wizdom of the Nile show for the Earth Center here in UK, linking up with our sister organizations there in the US, in Houston, Texas at the moment, speaking with Zeta Nefer with regards to Ancaster. Thank you again, my sister.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Ancaster, which is a section of the Earth Center that deals with healing. We've just heard from the Houston school, where the headquarters of the Ancaster healing has now relocated to. We only have, well, we started a little bit late, but we've got about 10-15 minutes left. So we'll be going into the next section of our show. For those who didn't hear, we just thank the Houston School, and we will be going into the next section of our show very shortly. We have about 15 minutes or so before the end of the show. Yes, welcome back. See if I'm hearing myself clearly through the headphones. Okay, so we want to move into the last section of the show now. And we actually wanted to open the lines as well for anybody who wanted to call in. I will give out the number, but this is our first show of a series, so we are giving you an overview of the Earth Center, but also just beginning to touch on the knowledge that has been held by our ancestors, and that we have now been blessed with the privilege to have a platform to share that with the rest of the world. Okay, so the telephone number is 079-444-31366. If there's anything you would like to share, any questions you would like to ask in the last 10-15 minutes of the show, is 079-444-31366. But before that, or if you do call, I'm going to ask you to hold your call. We are going to have a story from out of the Firefly magazine, volume 68. These are the magazine that comes under the Firefly branch of the Earth Center. And this is just an article in the Firefly. So if you would like to introduce yourself and the story that you're going to read for our listeners.
Ujai, I'm Katasta Hekama. Oh my gosh. No, my sister is Katasta.
Our names are so similar, you know, we're real sisters, so we're so similar. Yes.
Okay, rewind and come again. Ujai, I'm Kasati Hekama. I'm going to read from the Firefly the story entitled The Night Fire, A Human's Best Friends, by our teacher Naba Irita Shinmira. Within the initiations that take place in the bush camps of the sub-Saharan region of Merita, the youth are given stories as part of their initiation. The purpose of these stories is to inspire initiates to value a human being in both the physical and spiritual sense. Kemetic schools have made it clear that by taking good care of the spiritual part of the self, one becomes more stable. This story shows the reader that there is more value in investing in one's spirituality by honoring your ancestors and gods than in giving our lives to the destruction that the system puts in front of us. The system strategically puts love, peace, freedom, justice, among other ideologies, at the forefront of our attention in order to bring every human being under their submission. The story I am going to tell comes from those invaluable initiations. It is a story about a man who had 3 friends. As many of us often do, this man thought he and his friends would remain friends forever. They were very similar and could not stay away from each other. These 4 friends could be found doing everything together. They were inseparable. If anyone wanted to see one of them, they would always see the other 3. One evening, these 4 friends were sitting in a room after dinner talking about life and what the next day would bring. Suddenly, there was a knock by someone at the door. Each one of the friends asked the other whether they were expecting anyone, and each said no. One of them stood up and turned to open the door. When he opened the door, he found an elder standing there. The elder humbly greeted him and asked, "Are you Lakaza?" He replied, "Yes, I am." The elder said, "Well, sorry to disturb you, but our king has sent me with a message for you." Surprised, Lakaza asked, "What's the message?" "Well, the king wants you to come see him tomorrow." Lakaza asked, "What time?" You need to be there at the very first hour of the day. Please don't make him wait, the elder replied. Lakaza, losing his ability to hide his surprise, asked the elder, "Why does he want me?" "I don't know why. I just have to give you the message that he wants to see you." And with that, the elder turned and left. Lakaza went back to the room where his friends waited. He told them what the elder had just said to him. They all began to wonder why the king was looking for their friend, Lakaza. They all knew they were living their lives without any problems. They did not break any principles. Finally, all of the friends said, "If His Majesty is looking for you, then he is looking for all four of us." At that moment, the friendship of those friends was being tested. This situation would determine the strength of their bonds and to what extent they could stay together. It was a test to see whether their friendships would be able to truly last forever. Usually in friendships, when things are good, then that's when friendships are strong. That's the reality of friendship. The real test of friendship comes during difficult times. This unexpected event had left the friends in a dead silence. Everybody went into deep thought and the room became as silent as a cemetery. Lakaza decided that the next day he would grace the king with his presence. He would stand in front of the king and royal court at the palace. That's when the first friend admitted, "I really like you, and I really like your friendship. I'm ready for anything when it comes to our friendship. But in this situation, I can't go with you before His Majesty." The second friend added, "For the sake of our friendship, I will walk with you, but I cannot accompany you into the royal court. I will walk with you halfway before I must return home." That's when the third one proclaimed, "In the name of our friendship, I will go with you and hear what the king wants of you. I will be a witness and see what the king wants with you. I will go with you to know why the king is looking for you." Things played out exactly the way the three friends stated. The first friend stayed at the house and said, "I will be here waiting for you." The second friend walked with him halfway and said, "This is as far as I can go with you. I will be waiting for you back at the house." The third friend said, "I choose you as a best friend, and in order to acknowledge that, I'm going to continue on the road with you to testify, to be your witness and to support you." When they arrived in front of the king, what needed to happen happened. For those in initiation, everything is presented in the form of a metaphor or parable. The initiation masters, after telling this story, give initiates the opportunity to look at their own individual lives in order to find out what in their lives represent the first friend who stayed in the compound, the second friend that came only halfway, the third friend who accompanied Nakaza on his entire journey, and finally what could represent the king. Ancestral knowledge always leads one to concluding that the king is actually Wasa Unefa, the ancestral god of humanity and the sovereign of the world of the dead. The royal messenger was actually death knocking at the door. When death knocks at your door, all of your valued material possessions stay behind you. Your car, your house, your land, and anything else you consider your wealth is like the first friend. The second friend can be seen as just your family, your friends, your beloved, who will follow you but only to the edge of your grave before they must return home. They can only go as far as to stand at the edge of your grave to support you and wish you peace on your journey. Your third friend is the one that goes beyond the boundaries of the physical world. This friend represents your spirituality, which consists of the process of building your human qualities, honoring the 77 commandments, honoring the principles of life and nature, taking care of your ancestors and deities. In today's lifestyle, which has no room for our fathers' initiations, most people are not aware of these realities. Most individuals are living their lives pouring all of their energy into the first friend, material wealth, not realizing that this aspect of their lives will support them only for so long. The second friend also has its limitations, your relationships. No matter how strong they are, will not transcend with you when you are leaving this world. However, the third friend, your best friend, your spirituality, will accompany you all the way to your final destination, into the world of the dead. After realizing this, it's important that we ask ourselves, where should we really be focusing our energy?
Kasati. Wow. And these are the stories that they give us. And it's good to just really sit back and reflect on what they are teaching us. 079 444 31366. We are on the last few minutes of the show. We want to say dua to all of the initiates who have shared with us today, who will be sharing with us in the future. This is Wisdom of the Nile show brought to you by the Earth Center. And each week, 8 till 10, we will be bringing initiatic knowledge, teachings from the ancestors, and sharing with you the wisdom that we have had the opportunity to have experienced and are still experiencing. As Nakipsa said, those of us who have been through Per Ankh, we are now some of us already in Inushifi, and some are about to go into Inushifi. So we are about to, we are journeying into Inushifi. 5171, the I am. Thank you, says good show. Thank you for that. And you asked for the phone number again. And yes, the phone number is 0207 175 4144 if you want to know any more about the teachings, the initiation. And if there is anyone who wants to know or is interested in walking the path of the initiate and going into initiation, you actually have another week. So initiation started last week Sunday. We have a group just gone in after we did the orientation. But if you do want to go into initiation and go in with this set of initiates, then call the number that we just gave you, 0207 175 4144. And you can actually come into this week's class, take in the lessons, and if you do want to join, then we can you can discuss with the financial officers with regards to payment. But those of you who want to come in and just to see what initiation, you get a week where you can come in free and just sit in on the class and really get a taste of initiation. But after about the second week, we don't usually let someone who's interested join, because the knowledge is that deep that after 2 weeks, if you try to join, you're going to find it very, very, very challenging. It is that deep. So we want to thank you for giving us your listening ear, sharing your time with us this Wednesday. And we look forward to sharing with you again next week, the same time. So from the Wisdom of the Nile show, the Earth Center, we want to say to you, Iri Haru. And we're going to leave you with some traditional music. And in future weeks, we'll talk a bit more about this word and this music that they've talked about. So this is traditional Wizdom drumming. So we're going to leave you with some traditional Wizdom drums. Until next week, Iri Haru.